It's the 2014 Travelball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball and TravelballSelect.com. This is the most competitive youth baseball in America. And hello again, everybody. I'm Chris Mooney. I'm here with the play-by-play story, and thanks for joining us on TravelballSelect.com. And the first pitch of the ball game, off the outside corner, but Pete Halpin offered at it, got a piece of it, and he's behind in the count, 0-1. Pete Halpin, one of the best hitters in this tournament so far. And he'll face the new the moundsman for the Spartans Pro out of Tampa, Florida. On the mound going to be Satchel Norman. Satch's second delivery. Chopped down to first. Hey, this will be a tough play. Tag Halpin. One man out. First baseman unassisted. This is the final elimination ball game of the national championship.
Winner moves on to play in the finals against a heck of a Dallas Tigers team.
If you're just tuning in, Dallas took out the Florida team of Spartans Pro 5-4 on a walk-off hit in the bottom of the sixth inning to force Spartans Pro, deliver them their first loss and force them into the loser's bracket. Here's Davis Diaz.
Thank you very much.
Diaz has had himself a very fine national championship. He's got a 2-1 count. We don't need to worry about first names. Diaz immediately trying to work the count early in this ball game. Of course, pitch counts, pitch innings more precisely, a big part of this championship. A.J. Ortiz on deck.
Oh, yeah, he got one. Davis wore one right there. We always kid our guys when they get hit, hey, you look good in leather. It took that ball, wore one on the hip. Brings up Mr. Ortiz.
Yeah, A.J.'s also had himself a good tournament.
Yep. Hanley Ramirez is his guy. Not a bad guy to emulate. I'm looking on some of their favorite players and things, and I kind of like the list. A kid named Brandon Crawford on there and a kid named Troy Tulowitzki, and pretty familiar with those two names since I coached them. Looking farther down, coached against old Buster Posey. My favorite player of all time was Willie Mays, and that's Kyle Otis's favorite player.
You know, Buster Posey, an East Cobb guy, as a matter of fact.
He sure was, and when I knew Buster when we played against him, he was a pitcher shortstop, and a great one.
Right.
Moved over to third base at Florida State, then moved over to catcher where he ended up, and we kind of knew that was where he's going to be. He was a little bit of a step slow, play shortstop, and now he's about 3 steps slow. But boy, can he hit. Shot. There he is. 6 unassisted, 3.
The force.
Beautiful.
And the throw to first.
Great play
to end
by
the inning.
Shortstop. Really nice play by the shortstop.
So a 6-4-3 double play ends the top half of the first inning for Northern California. We had bottom of the first. No score in the loser's bracket, final loser's bracket ball game of the 2014 Travelball National Championship.
Years before he was Sports Illustrated's chosen one, TravelballSelect.com had already chosen 11-year-old Bryce Harper as an All-American. Go to the source for travel baseball national rankings and All-America teams, TravelballSelect.com.
This is Nations Baseball.
Matty Ice to the plate, driven, high, deep, gone. Gets over the fence by about a foot.
Nations Baseball features the most complete roster and team classification systems in the country, allowing for true class play, matching teams of equal skill levels better than any other organization on the planet. Teams compete in Metro, Select, Elite, and Premier classes in leagues and tournaments around the nation for a chance to attend World Series and National Championship events in the most attractive locations in the country.
That's it. 3 in a row to first base, and that will end it.
To the bottom half of the first now. One team moves on to the national championship game and faces Team Texas. The other ends a long week and going home in third place. And Nick Haddad to lead things off for the Tampa boys. Tampa, Florida Spartans Pro. Just be Haddad, Russo, and Norman.
Just for a reference point on how many games these kids have played, this is game number 11 for Lamorinda. If they move on, that'll be game 12 in 5 days. That's a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
It'll be their 4th game of the day. 4, 3, 2, and 2.
Speaking of 4,
Yeah, 4, 4,
called and caught by Halpin.
Yep.
At second.
Here comes the big third baseman, Russo. I'm assuming he's playing third today again.
Cole's had himself a good championship. He really has.
He's got some nice hands at third, got a good arm. I like his setup. He's kind of loose. Not because of stature, but just the way he kind of handles himself. Kind of reminds me of John Kruk when he hit. Just nice and loose, puts a good swing on there. You know, that when Kruk was in shape, which I don't know if that maybe,
I didn't last very long.
Well, maybe Kruk when he was 11.
Back into the screen.
He's loose. I don't think he's seen a fastball he didn't like. Very aggressive.
Oh, 2.
Getting ahead is Newman. Left fielder awfully deep.
So I'm going to do as soon as he pitches, I'll go to the batter.
Carson's breaking ball really hung up there, and Cole made him pay for it. And you see Cole down at first base, and he's frustrated that he actually did not do more with that pitch. That was a little lollipop up there.
Yeah.
So a pop out to second for Haddad, a single for Russo, and that'll get us to the pitcher, Satchel Norman,
Who caught last game.
Yep.
Among other things. He's an athlete. He's hitting 3 for a reason on a very good club.
And he's ahead in the count here, 1-0. What a ball game. The boys from Tampa, Florida played against the team from Dallas, Texas before we came on the air here. Dallas and Florida, Tampa, Florida, Dallas, Texas, both had a loss in the winner's bracket championship game. Dallas won it. We mentioned this earlier, I know, but it bears repeating. 5-4 the final in walk-off fashion. The Tigers scored 5 consecutive runs to win that ball game. Advance to the championship game where they await the winner of this one. Been 2 very different roads. That's the reason I bring it up. 2 very different roads for these 2 squads in this losers bracket championship game, as is so often the case in a tournament like this.
You've got a Lamorinda team who lost a little bit early. There's the runner going.
Yep.
The big fella, Russo.
Russo has it, and he stays on his feet.
Thinks better of it.
Took the base standing up, had at least the option of going to third, and as you mentioned,
and he
wisely stayed at second.
He'd have been safe at second anyway. It was ball 4. But when you get into losers bracket, Chris, and you get it done a little bit early like a Lamorinda did, you might have the opportunity also to really get hot with the sticks. And they scored 10 runs this last game, ruled the Mississippi club. And, they're on a little bit of a roll right now. Really like this guy's setup. Pretty swing. Very, very smooth, very quiet.
Well, it's a second consecutive team. Second consecutive, or 2 out of 3, I should say. 2 out of 3 that the Northern California squad has ruled a team. They did the same thing last night.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you really get on the proverbial roll. Good pitch. Hit that ball a long way.
Yes, indeed, when playing with it. And the catch made out in left. Russo's tagging, headed to third. Oh, boy, the ball hops underneath the glove of the third baseman, or I'll tell you what, he would have been out.
Sure would have, and that's a situation where that pitcher has got to do a better job backing up the throw. He never left the mound, and it's really his responsibility to be backing up that throw to third. The catcher vacated his spot. There was really nobody home. If Russo decided, hey, I'm going to keep going, he'd have scored.
Yep.
So it's really crucial to play with fundamentals at this level right here. This is the difference between a win and a loss.
The battery in this critical ball game is Carson Newman on the mound and Davis Diaz behind the plate.
Yeah, Diaz got hit in the first inning and got hit pretty darn hard in that thigh, hip area, noticeable limp. It's not going to be easy to catch 6 innings that way either, but he's a tough, gutty kid. He's had a very good tournament. He's one of the better kids here, I think.
Connor Krug, the batter now.
We saw Halpin earlier. We were very impressed by Halpin. So they've got some guys. The big fella Howard at first base. Good pitcher, knows how to pitch. Very impressed with this Florida team. Good pitch right there.
Krug takes strike 2. 0-2 count with the off-speed delivery from Carson Newman.
The shortstop for the Tampa group, one of the better shortstops I've seen in this tournament. Very fluid.
Set, delivery, and a fastball fouled back into the screen. Krug trying to keep the productive inning alive with 2 men in scoring position, 2 men out, bottom half of the first.
Diaz called for an elevated fastball, and Newman did a great job in doing just that and executing that. And I'm sure they're going to throw some kind of breaking ball down now to change the eyesights. Try and bury something here.
Oh-2. Popped up. In play. Third baseman tries to get to it and can't quite get there. It was Heyman. Sam had a shot at it. Davis Diaz couldn't get there either. So new life. Oh, gets away. Russo's coming to the plate. Newman covers, and they'll get Russo easily. That's the first time out of, and I remember distinctly, 4 times we've seen it over the last 2 days. That's the 4th time, but the first that a runner has been gunned down at the plate with a bang-bang play like that. No runs come across bottom half of the first. We're scoreless.
Great hitters aren't born. They're made. Swing Away makes them.
Hi, I'm Bryce Harper. If you want to be a better hitter, all you have to do is swing away.
Now, all baseball players and softball players can train like the pros. Hit anywhere, anytime, inside or out. Players of all ages and skill levels can get serious and immediate results with the Swing Away.
Swing Away will make you a better hitter, period.
You're just a swing away from becoming a great hitter at swingaway.com.
How important is confidence to success in travel baseball? 80% is the most common answer I get, and it may be even more. Baseball is hard enough the way it is, but I find that some of the biggest robbers of confidence in young players is their parents and coaches. So go to Play Big Travelball right now and get my free report, 3 hidden mistakes even top travel ball coaches make that crush player confidence and turn wins into losses. And I'll give you the fixes for them as well. So go get my free report at playbigtravelball.com. Here's a game I invite you to play during the next half inning. Rate each player from 0 to 10 how confident he looks. How confident you think each guy is. Rate him 0 to 10, and then notice what you're basing your assessment on. If you want extra credit, do the same for yourself. How are you sitting right now? How are you moving? How are you breathing? How confident 0 to 10 are you right now in whatever it is that you might be working on in your life? I'm Dr. Tom Hansen, founder of the Play Big Academy, and for the last 30 years, I've been studying confidence in baseball and business, all aspects of life, and what makes people take action boldly and confidently, and what has people wilt away under the pressure. If you want to take the first step, where I give away my #1 secret, the Hall of Famer's secret, this is what I learned studying Hank Aaron.
David Howard to lead things off in the top half of the second inning. Big guy fouls one off the end of his bat. And Norman ahead of the count, 0-1. David's had himself a good championship, although not ultra productive. There are times where this guy can really carry his club. This guy's went into center field and deep. There's a prime example of it. Way back there, and it is gone. David Howard goes deep into center field, 270 plus over the batter's eye. That's, I believe, 20 feet tall out there in center field, into the trees, and it's 1-0, California.
Chris, he had to hit that ball 290 feet.
290?
No question. That's 250 there. It's a 20-foot high fence. By the time the trajectory comes down, that's 40 feet over that fence where it lands.
Ooh.
That's a big shot. Not a mathematician. That's my guess. That was an absolute bomb because that thing was still going up a little bit.
Well, no matter the distance, it's good for a run, and that's what matters as
know,
Pat Keegren comes to the plate.
I talked to Dusty Baker, and Hank Aaron used to say to him, if it's a 350-foot fence, hit it ball 351 and it still counts.
Right.
Doesn't matter how far you hit it as long as it's over the fence. That was a prodigious shot. Howard really got into that.
I was just saying, literally in the middle of my comment, saying that he's been good, but not great in this tournament. I don't mean that like I'm picking on the kid. In fact, I mean it from a complimentary standard.
High expectations.
Well, that's what I'm getting at,
right.
And that's what I was saying. He just hasn't been ultra productive, and he's the kind of kid that sometimes has been able to carry this club. So far in the championship, he hasn't had to.
That's right.
But boy, oh boy, did he light a fire under the Knights squad with that blast. Ball certainly carrying a little more today than it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Now Satchel Norman's got to try to settle down as he walks Keegren. Settle down and settle in because they need some innings.
Well, the natural inclination is not to come in with any more good pitches. They don't want to see a ball hit like that again, so he's going to work around it, try and let the guy get himself out. You know, little gun shy.
And here's Light.
The ball's a little bit down, but
takes strike one.
Went for a called strike. That's all that matters. All that matters is that guy thought so.
Runners going. Ground ball. That kept them out of the double play. Perfectly timed hit and run. Light makes great contact. Always seems to make great contact. And with the runner moving, he did pull the ball just a tad bit, hit it down to the shortstop. But with the runner breaking, again, great coach by, or great decision by Adrian Diaz.
Light's a good-looking second baseman. Does all the little things. Good ball player. Here's the pitcher, Newman.
And he lines one right at second. Throw back to second base.
What an outstanding play.
For the double play. What a tremendous play. You're right about that. Austin Grouse, boy, he's been something defensively.
Sure has.
In the 4 position for Spartans Pro of Florida. But one run comes on the solo prestigious blast of David Howard. And it's 1-0. The visitors out in front through an inning and a half on TravelballSelect.com. Bottom of the second, we'll see if Florida now can turn that fine defensive lightning shot of momentum into runs here in the bottom half of the second inning. Again, elimination ball game in the 2014 Travelball National Championship. Newman's next offering, high and away, 2-0 the count now. Connor Krug back up to the plate. He was left at the plate after a man caught on the base pads last inning. A wild pitch, and Cole Russo, who reached on a single, was coming to the plate. He was gunned down. Catcher to pitcher covering at the plate. Connor happened to be at the plate at the time. Now a 3-1 count. This is the 3 of 4 games in the 11U classification. Connor draws the walk.
Leadoff walks score in the big leagues about 70% of the time. I'd venture to say it's closer to 80 plus here.
I'm a guy who loves stats, and Rick Goff and I were talking about that yesterday, that statistic. We both had that same number. And I'll tell you something, I just cannot believe that number.
Here's another interesting number. And this came from a good friend of mine who's actually the Colorado Rockies' new title offensive coordinator, Jerry Weinstein, the most brilliant man I've ever met in baseball. They score 60% of the time with 1 out, man on second. You've cut your odds.
Line.
There's a double
Howard
play.
steps on the bag for the double play. A solidly struck ball by Robbie Higgins, and he's been swinging the bat pretty well over the last 2 ball games, but this turns into a 3 unassisted double play.
So the idea behind man on second, 1 out, is why would you sacrifice a guy over if you lose 10%? Well, you're already with man on first and 70%. Let's try and be productive in other areas, and that's what it's getting to.
I bet you Tony La Russa knows that number.
Pretty smart guy.
Austin Grouse to the plate. La Russa was a guy who changed the way that he managed as the years went on. When he began his career with the Chicago White Sox,
he was a hunch guy.
He was more of a hunch guy.
Right.
He did depend on statistics and a little bit of analytics in the early days of analytics. But you're right. He was more towards a hunch guy, and that's where I was going with that. But by the time it ended, he was well known for his
Saber
multitude
right.
of 3-ring binders. La Russa, Hall of Famer this year. What's being dubbed the Georgia Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremony. Every single guy getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year up in Cooperstown in a few weeks has a Georgia connection. Very odd. Found a way, 1 and 2. Interesting, yeah, it really is. Every single guy.
How about Bobby Cox? That's a great thing.
What a guy. A man's man. Guy who would be one of the nicest men you ever met, but also one of the fiercest men you'd ever meet.
Don't cross.
Deep drive. Left field, kind of hung up there. And it's caught out and left for out number 3. So quickly, Spartans Pro of Tampa, Florida goes down in the home half of the 2nd inning, and that 1-0 lead put up by David Howard. And Lamorinda stands, at least for another inning, top of the 3rd on TravelballSelect.com. Sam Heyman takes ball 1 to start the top half of the 3rd inning. It'll be Heyman, Orta, and then back to the top of the order in Halpin. Fastball inside corner. Boy, I'll tell you something. All of the men in blue this week, no matter left-handed hitter or right-handed hitter, have been very generous with the left side of the plate.
Whether it's inside or outside.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no matter the. I'm telling you. I've been here for a few days. I know you've been here the entire time,
right,
but to me, looking at it as a play-by-play analyst guy, I've really noticed.
Most of the guys set up over the catcher's inside shoulder or over the top.
Yep. That's going to stay in play. Called it first and caught.
Well, you also know this is a big ball game because we've got 4 umpires out in the field.
Great point. Thank you. I forgot to articulate that. Thank you very much.
There's once.
Heyman out on the pop-up to 3, the first baseman. And here's Orta. D's been on and off as far as his starting rotation in the lineup. Been sharing some time with a couple of guys, but he's played in at least every, or he has at least played in every ball game thus far.
You know, I give a lot of credit to all these coaches. They do a great job getting guys in, getting guys out. You know, they're letting them play in a really big situation in here. This is a big platform. And they let these guys play, and I love it.
Oh, boy.
Look at that.
And speed. Speed to burn for D. Orta. He'll take a wide turn at first, but stick there. A good play by the left fielder to come over and cut that ball off, right?
Absolutely. You know, could have challenged a little bit. Now, Halpin, here's an interesting guy. He's not your typical leadoff guy. He's more of a banger as far as I'm concerned, but a good athlete. Not like a Collins, who's a real speed guy for Dallas, but this is a guy who can more of like a 3-hitter. Which I like. Right. He's probably getting on base a whole bunch, and I really like it. It's like, you know, the kid for the Angels hitting first or second Trout.
Orta breaking to second and sliding in safe.
Well, you're right about speed. He got a great jump right there. You got a new catcher here too. Got the third baseman that's coming to catch. Looks like.
Yes, indeed. Russo has come behind the plate now.
Russo's an interesting kid. Now his father is the coach, and I believe I was talking to him. His father caught at a very high level. So
I'll tell you what. Connor Krug has moved down to third to take over for him. Pete takes ball 2. Well, I said it last ball game, or 2 ball games ago, I suppose. And I'll say it again. If there was an all-championship team, this guy would be on it. Talking about Halpin.
Sure, all-tournament type thing, national championship.
Yeah. Ground ball, down to first. Fundamentally sound play down there at first by Krug. Jake.
You know, Halpin's just, he's a kid who does a lot of things. Not just a lot of things okay. He does a lot of things well.
Right.
You know, jack of all trades, master of most. He does a lot. He can catch. He can pitch. He can play second base.
Be a puts
a good swing on it.
Be a 5-tool player, couldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's just a tough kid. There's the 6th one. The 6th tool is that mental thing. Kid's tough.
Yeah. Diaz takes a curveball for
strike. Now you got
strike.
another tough kid right here.
Yeah, Davis showed us just how tough he was as he's behind in the count 0-1 in his first at-bat.
Yeah.
Was absolutely drilled
by
Norman. Stayed in the ball game, went down to first like a man does, but then did not show his true pain until after the inning was over. And that's the rule, right? That's the unwritten rule.
That's right.
Never let him know.
Don't rub it.
Right.
Don't rub it.
Oh, little nubber that's going to squirt up the middle and into center field. Scoring Orta and putting California out in front 2-0. I don't believe you can assume that play. Had to go down to his knees.
That's an absolute hit.
That's an absolute hit. Yes, sir. RBI single for Davis Diaz. And here's A.J. Ortiz. A.J. hitting to a 6-4-3 double play to win the first. Strike one. A.J. reached base once in our first game of the day, the 8 a.m. first pitch. He walked in the third of that ball game against Corey Lytle of Southern California. Fielder's choice, fly out, strike out. Had himself a good ball game, really good game against Home Plate Chili Dogs, one of the more creative names in National Travel Ball. Team out of the state of Georgia. yesterday. Yesterday, Ortiz reached base 3 times. Drove in a run.
Good-looking player.
Indeed.
Got a good athletic body. A little bouncy. Nice setup. Good load.
They're top 3, really the anchors of this club, with Halpin, Diaz, Ortiz. Let's make it 5. Howard and Keegren.
Yes.
And that's really why they're so good.
Well,
boy, oh boy, they're good.
As Yogi would say, they've got deep depth.
Pop up. Krug moving over, but he'll let it go. Well, some people forgot about this Lamorinda team.
Well, they're ranked to the top 3 for a reason.
All right, yeah, but a lot of people, I think, lost sight of them once they lost their very first ball game of bracket play and fell into the losers bracket, having to traverse that minefield. I think they kind of fell by the wayside as far as the attention meter goes. Well, guess what? Hey, how you doing? Here we are again, the number 3 ranked team in the country.
Cream rises to the top.
Yep. Fly to right, slicing out of play and out of the stadium.
Yeah, I think they've really found themselves. They've gotten hot, and now they're playing the way they're capable of it. And again, people don't realize how difficult it is to go from the West Coast to the East.
Sure.
Not just the time. It's just you throw off your whole circadian rhythms. Yeah, that was a balk, but they didn't call it.
Into right and a base hit. They're going to hold Diaz at third now. They're sending him as the ball gets past the right fielder.
No, he was coming the whole way. He just can't run real well right now. He's hurting.
Well, I'll have to – I don't know. I don't want to argue with you on that one. But Diaz was pointing at the bag.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I think as soon as the ball got by the right fielder, then it was a moot point.
Well,
but maybe
right.
holding him originally.
Our discussion is only well, we're trying to figure out RBI or not, right? Yeah, I know. You think the way I do.
He gets 2. Here comes the big man. We're not talking Clarence Clemens either. We're talking Big David Howard. Does anybody get that reference, by the way? You got that reference.
Well, yeah, you know me, though.
That's it.
Yeah.
I
One guy watching out there.
I missed the big man.
One guy out there got it.
Right.
And he's probably laughing right now.
He can play the sax like nobody's business, though, couldn't he?
Howard with the lightning bolt to the ball game so far. A
prodigious shot.
Prodigious
about 280, 290.
You read my mind. To center field.
He tried to do it again, didn't he?
As you see the stadium, the field here, you see the batter's eye in dead center field, which is, you know what, I think I'm leaning back towards you and what you were saying, because in dead center field, you got about a 5-foot concave from the 250 marks.
Yeah.
So you're at 250, maybe even it's 10 feet to 260. And the fence is about 20 feet tall. Ground ball down to second, and the inning comes to a close. So Howard can't produce this time following his 280-foot blast, but more runs across the board. In fact, 2 more runs at the end of 3 here in East Cobb. No, at the end of 2.5 here at East Cobb. It's 3-0. The visitors out in front on TravelballSelect.com.
right out of Maryland.
Talking cleating between Rob Bruno and Chris Mooneyham here, your play-by-play and color analysis. Back for the 2014 Travelball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball and TravelballSelect.com. That's when you know you're a baseball nut, when you're talking about the deep cleating and comparing Nike to Under Armour and Easton to whoever, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We're baseball nuts. Carson Newman now sitting on a 3-run lead in the bottom half of the third. His Northern California squad trying to get to the national championship game from the loser's bracket. And I mean the beginning of the loser's bracket.
Newman, 2 times in a row, looked like he didn't have really good balance finishing on those pitches. Kind of fell off to the side a little bit more than normal.
And he's gone to 3-0 on Aaron Deegan.
You know, I don't know how many innings Carson's thrown in the tournament, but you know it's in his third now. It's hot.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, as a coach, you start kind of watching at this point, especially with a 3-run lead. What you need now, you need a lot of strikes, and he's struggling. Everything was up. He's struggling a little bit here.
Third consecutive productive at-bat in 2 ball games for Aaron Deegan.
Yeah, I like Deegan.
Obviously his first in this ball game, but a sac fly and a single in his last ball game, and now a walk to start the third. And here's Cole Robertson. Cole looking for his first hit of this Sunday. 0 for 2 in game 1 with a ground out and a fly out. I know Carson's got a couple of innings, a couple of 4 because I've seen him. Saw him yesterday.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
How that didn't hit that guy was a shock.
And look at this, Coach Diaz.
Yeah.
Comes halfway out of the dugout, halfway between the dugout and the third base line, and hollers out to him.
Throw strikes.
One-0. Curve it. Dropped in right at the letters.
You know, sometimes you need to shuffle up the deck and throw a breaking ball instead of a fastball, get you back in a groove, slow you down a little bit.
Yep. Calls a young man to refocus, won't it?
Yep.
Squares to bunt. Snap throw down to second. Howard with the swipe, and the ball got away. 1-2 the count, by the way. Now on Cole Robertson. Newman set and delivers. A ground ball right back to him. Turn, fire, turn, in time, the double play.
What a great play. We probably would have had interference at second base anyway. He raised his hands up there and a little bit of interference, but what a great 1-6-3. I mean, you think about these kids, these are 11-year-olds making plays that high school, college kids play. That was absolutely outstanding. It's just a miniature version of really all it is. So the fundamentals have been outstanding. That was huge because
yes,
you know, he was struggling out there. Got a comebacker induced. That's fantastic for him.
You read my mind. I was just about to get into that point. Ideal situation, Adrian Diaz would get 4 innings out of Newman, right?
Absolutely.
4 would be
absolutely
great.
You know, after this inning, it's batter to batter.
Right. Krug, by the way, the first baseman, 26, lines one into left field for a base hit. Jake. Now Brennan Hyde. That's a second single of the day for Krug. First in this ball game, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Brennan a walk and a strikeout in their last ball game. That loss to the Dallas team out of Texas. Of course, Brandon on the mound for most of that ball game as well.
Good little left-handed swing, and again, I always refer to lefties as gifted. They're very fortunate. Not enough of them, but it's a good start. Heck, they're a step and a half closer to first base right off the bat.
And Hyde fouls one away. Got himself a fastball. Couldn't quite square it up. Count even. Brandon reaches. We'll get back to the top of the order. Ooh. Yeah, right now, Lamorinda begging for one more out. I'd like to get forward, but why get greedy? At least if you get out of this third inning, that'd be big.
Absolutely.
Your Spartans Pro, boy, you want at least one more hit to get back to the top of the order. That's why this at-bat for Hyde's so important. Even with 2 outs,
no
try to
question.
turn it over.
Roll that lineup. Roll that lineup.
Keep the train moving, right?
Get to the next guy. That's absolutely right. Just do your job. Not going to hit a 5-run homer. Pretty good pitch down.
Nice eye. 2-2. In the dirt, and he walked him. Well, now. Boy, this had such an opportunity for the Florida boys to have a big, big inning. If you're just tuning in, a walk to Deegan. And then Robertson hit into a 1-6-3 double play, a ball he hit right back to the pitcher, and it was hit hard. A great defensive play, as we talked about, to turn the double play, and now a walk, or a single and a walk to follow that. This situation could be far, far worse.
Coach
for the
Diaz
Knights.
is getting that neck of Newman's cool. Brought out a nice towel for him. That had to feel good. He's been out there a long time. That's a long time to be out there. It's hot. It's humid. You know, he's just saying, hey, one more batter. Suck it up for us, guys. Here we go. Not easy.
Very candid moment between the home plate umpire and Adrian Diaz.
I think the umpire was complaining that, where's my water? Where's my towel? What's up with that?
So, indeed, they turn it around back to the top of the order, and Nico Haddad.
I think Adrian promised him a towel, but he made a good call on this in between innings. He's got to earn that towel.
Nicholas 0 for 1 with a pop-up to Halpin at second. Wants a base hit in the worst way. Lines it to left. A solidly struck ball, but right at the left fielder.
Hit an Adam ball.
To put an end to the inning. Boy, oh boy. Both teams really towing the line of runs versus no runs in the third. Top half of the inning coming up. The top of the fourth, to be precise. 3-0. California out in front. Nicholas Haddad comes behind the plate now for Team Florida as we start the fourth inning, top half of the fourth. And California to the plate with a 3-0 lead. It's the fifth place man, Pat Keegren, to lead things off, followed by Carl Vesey-Light and Carson Newman. Pat to right center. That ball's got a chance to fall and does for a base hit. Right in front of Brodale. Second time reaching for Keegren, by the way. A walk and a single now to his credit. And now Carl Vesey-Light.
That was a tough one. Got a ball right in the ribs area on the pick.
Oh, show bunt. Took a ball high.
Well, they're up 3. No outs, man on first. Not a bad thought. You know, let's add on here, right? Let's go to the fourth, go to the fifth. Get the fourth run, get the fifth run. That's not a bad call at all. I like it. Swinging, hit and run situation.
And they'll have to scamper back to first. Oh boy, Wynn playing tricks with it up there.
Yeah, not a lot of communication either.
Yeah. Once it gets up into the right level with the top of the trees, you know.
Absolutely. That was the first baseman's ball, but the pitcher decided, you know what? I'm not taking any chances here. Here's Mr. Newman, who's thrown a heck of a game.
We were talking to some of the Lamorinda faithful during the break. It seems as though he's got one more inning that he can go. The fourth inning may be his last.
Legally.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, you're right. I did not articulate that correctly.
I'm sure they're well aware, and they'll do it the right way. Don't want to cast aspersions. Of course, they're going to do it the right way.
No, and I'm glad you articulated that. It kind of sounded like I meant as far as him being tired.
Right.
But yes. Satch, big breaking ball.
You know,
pitcher named Satch.
You got to love that. Now this is, Chris, this is your third game. I've almost been here for 3. We've got a fourth one coming up today.
Right.
Today. These guys are playing their hearts out. Up.
To
see
right.
If it drops.
And in.
He caught it.
No,
nice
they're going to give him the catch. Yes, they are.
He caught it. It was a nice play by that young man, number 42.
Backhanded catch made out in right by Marcus Brodell.
In order to stay sharp for some of these guys, you know, they've got to eat right, lots of water, everything else, and even the announcers sometimes have some tricks on what they drink. Do you have any nice concoctions that you use?
I just dumped an entire bottle of extra strength.
A little 5-hour energy there.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I'm not sponsored by 5 Hours, so.
Right into the water.
Right into the water.
So you're hydrating as well.
Right. Figured I'd get the vitamins.
That's the outstanding concoction right there.
Try to stay away from the energy drinks as much as possible. Now, that's not to say I didn't have one yesterday.
No.
I'm just saying that I try not to. Try not to on consecutive days, anyway.
You are a better man than I. Sometimes I'll bring out a pre-workout drink, the stuff that when I'm out lifting, and use that.
Yep, absolutely. I'm with you on that one as well.
Very effective.
Yep.
Just say no at home.
You brought
only for professionals. That's a nice shot
line,
right
and
there.
that is a fair ball down into the corner. And that's a huge hit. Keegren will have to stop at second, but a big hit with 2 outs to keep the train moving. Single, pop-up, fly-out, and single in the inning. It's Keegren and Heyman who have bookended singles. And now Orta, the bottom man in the lineup, coming to the plate already with a single and a stolen base to his credit.
Yep. Single down that left field line, and you talked about him being quick, and immediately he stole second.
Tough little out at the plate as well. Satchel kicks and fired. Strike, or rather fastball off the outside corner, 1-0.
Orta kind of reminds me of a guy who could hit 1 or 2 or 9 in the lineup. He's kind of a second leadoff kind of guy, and I think that's the role he plays here as a second leadoff guy. Kind of a spark plug here. They got the ever dangerous Halpin. That was an interesting move. We'll leave it at that.
That's your polite way of saying it could have been a balk.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Popped
Fastball.
Him up. Popped him up.
Came to him with 2 straight fastballs. Popped up, and Russo has it tick off the hill of his glove. Coming to the plate, Keegren slides, safe. 4-0, Lamorinda Knights of Northern California.
That was huge because that's going to bring up Halpin, and now they've got men on second, third. Halpin comes up with a big knock here. It's going to be a big deal. That's going to get to that 5-run deal. Something's wrong with the catcher, looks like to me, too.
I see that.
He's
right
fixing
in front of us.
He might be fixing something. Maybe taking a little bit of a break.
Boy, oh boy, is that a huge, huge moment. And we said it, the single by Keegren to start the inning. The first 2 outs came rather easily after that. But what did we say? We've been saying it all ball game. Keep the line moving. Heyman got the hit that allowed Orta to get to the plate. And then, of course, the error.
They wanted to get to Halpin here. You get to Halpin, the good things are going to happen.
Boy, oh boy, and this is a, I don't want to say it's a do or die moment. But
Russo got a little bit of a bad jump there, too. He was playing a little bit deep, didn't get the initial beat on the ball. So that was big. I'll tell you what was impressive. Ooh, that was a low strike, but what was impressive was that runner kept coming. He did not hesitate. Yeah, this is a big deal right here.
Yes, it is. 6-0 lead would be ginormous.
Absolutely it would. Pretty tough to hit a 6-run home run.
Indeed.
I've not seen it for a while.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
Well.
Runners their lead at second and third. Norman to the plate, and it's a ground ball. Second baseman makes the stop, but he can't corral it. Both runners coming to the plate. 2 RBI. 6-0.
Made a nice initial stop, but he couldn't find the ball. It was great effort just to get to that ball. And, again, Halpin hit that ball hard. He smoked it. Brings up another good hitter right here in Diaz. Wouldn't surprise me if Halpin maybe stole here, got into position.
You're talking about a Lamorinda club now.
They're hot.
That beat Spartans 10-0 on the run rule, 10-4. Or I'm sorry, beat Mississippi 10-0 on the run rule. Beat the Lytle club, home plate. They have scored some runs coming throughout this losers bracket.
That's the one advantage of getting in the losers bracket. You can really get hot. The challenge is you better have a million pitchers. Now there he goes. There's Halpin.
And he's got it stolen easily.
Tell you what, he better slide next time. I just call him out on principle.
I'll tell you what, in this losers bracket, they've scored over 40 runs in 5 games.
And it's only the 4th.
Right. They're threatening to run away with this one. They get another couple of hits, we might have to start thinking about run rule in this ball game.
Well, this Florida team can score at will also, so I don't think that's going to happen. A little check swing.
Well, that'll get him to 7. Coming around third is Halpin, and he will score on the RBI hit by Diaz. It is 7-0.
Now you got another good hitter coming up, Ortiz. It's a little bit of a murderer's row, isn't it?
And when the bottom of the lineup contributes, we said it earlier in this day, we articulated it yesterday, when you're talking about these national championships and these nationally ranked clubs, as Diaz will get down to second on the wild pitch. Brother, if you get production out of the bottom of your lineup, you are going to be darn near impossible to stop offensively.
Pitcher's a little shaken up there, a little wild pitch. Russo's going to come out and talk to him. He's a little shaken up. You can see it.
Yep.
And he's going to be done. He's done. He's not happy about it either. No. You know, I don't mind that. He's a competitor. I'm fine with that. He'll learn from that. I'd rather have a guy care too much than not at all.
Yep.
He's just fine. Tell you what, he's got quite an arm for a young guy.
It'll be the end of the day for Satchel.
You got to love that.
Norman heads off. And the right-hander, Connor Krug, comes on.
Water here. I think Connor should spend a little time with me at the rib ranch. We'll put some weight on him, and we'll get one of those 1.5-pound beef ribs. Have you ever been there?
Not the rib ranch,
Off of Canton Highway North, 267.
You're talking about right down here?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
my neck.
Yes,
no. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, I heard you talking about the Cherokee Cattle Company.
That was not bad.
Yesterday,
it was not bad.
Been a long time since I've been there.
I'm actually more of a fan of one of their sister restaurants, the seafood place, right down the road there. But the rib ranch is one of my favorites. That's a little hideaway. Probably been there 15 times to 20 times in the last few years.
Must be a new joint. I never heard of them. At least
It's
I don't
been
think I
around
have.
for years.
Years? Huh. 1-0. No, I'm only kidding. He's still warming up.
Yeah. So, but the beef ribs you can literally shake off the bone. Fantastic. It's kind of a family type place.
Yeah.
We take our team in there, and we watched the College World Series there a few times, and it doesn't get any better.
Lee J. Ortiz coming to the plate now. Remember, run rule is 10 after 4.
So for a reference, with the Cherokee Cattle and the seafood place, it's owned by the same people of the Marietta Diner.
Ah,
yes.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know the Marietta Diner. Remember, I grew up down the road.
That's
from
right.
Here. Yeah.
That's right. Maybe the largest menu I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It's an encyclopedia.
Tell me about it.
And the desserts, my goodness gracious, seven inches thick, 7 layers. Good pitch.
Ball outside, good eye by Ortiz.
I really like Ortiz.
I would have swung at that 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, and I would have missed 10 out of 10.
AJ with a double play hit into in the first to win that inning, and an RBI
hard.
double. Out of play.
So does he not have a card in there still right now?
2-2 count. Scoreboard says 2-1, but I believe it's 2-1.
Trust your judgment. We're going with it.
Two. Off the outside corner.
Halpin's really getting a good jump from second. He's gonna really work hard to score on that hit, and I think that's one of the key things, that you've got to get a great secondary and have anticipation to score on those hits.
Ground ball down to third. Russo fires across the diamond, slips and falls, and the ball catches Ortiz.
Right in the helmet.
And comes dead out in right field.
And there's a play. And
the runner to the plate, and he will score.
Now we're going to call timeout. Ortiz got hit in the head.
Well, I didn't see any umpire call timeout. I thought the same thing.
No, they're going to call
did,
timeout once the now that it's situated, now that it's settled in, they're going to get it. I don't know if it's got in the helmet or the neck.
Let me do a little more housekeeping here just really quick. We had a courtesy runner who had just checked into the ball game during the dead ball, by the way. Gage Johnson was the courtesy runner for Davis Diaz.
Ah, there you go. Well, he's okay. He's okay.
AJ up on his feet. Now, are they going to send Gage back to third?
No, I don't think the time was not out.
Right, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
I didn't see him call time. I expected the same as you did, for them to call time immediately when he crumpled to the ground, but I guess they'll say it was that the runner had already passed third, was on his way to the plate.
Right, there was a play to be made.
Well.
And here's the big fella.
It's 8-0.
Yep.
It's 8-0.
Yeah. They need one swing, and it's
Florida
it's an interesting deal.
Yeah, Florida needs a stop for pride here.
Yeah.
Outside with a fastball, 1-0.
Yeah. Let's flash back 3 hours ago. Well, let's flash back about an hour and a half ago. They're in the final inning, tied up, and they could be resting like the Dallas Tigers right behind us. That's a good shot to left. It's going to fall.
Indeed it is for a base hit.
I mean, that's baseball. Baseball is a small game of inches, and, we've got the Dallas Tigers sitting back there kind of waiting. Hey, who are we going to play here? That could very easily be this Tampa team, this Spartan Pro team.
And instead, they're hanging on life support.
They were tied up going into that last inning, and gosh.
Well, and remember, they had a 4-0 lead and were
sure
nine outs away.
That's right.
So they've gone from a 4-0 lead.
Fleeting.
Oh, gosh, and Dallas was absolutely dead offensively.
Mm-hmm. One swing by the big man,
right.
Dana.
Right.
And we've seen a couple big shots today. Dana goes oppo about 275. The big man, Howard, takes one over the batter's eye. That was just a big-time shot.
Keegren. A ground ball into right, a base hit. They will send the runner to the plate. There will be no relay throw. It is 9-0. Ortiz scores on the second hit of the inning by Keegren. They've now sent everybody to the plate, and Keegren twice.
Yeah, you're starting to see some guys hang their heads a little bit. Yeah, that's a tough deal. Down by 2 or 3 is tough. Now you get to a 9 spot.
Boy. Carl Vesey-Light takes a strike on the outside corner. Now, let's also gain some more perspective here. Even if Vesey-Light makes the final out of the inning and we stay at 9-0 and we don't get to the 10-run rule at the end of 4, we could still see the 8-run rule at the end of 5.
Is it 8 or is it 10? And I'm not sure.
Oh.
I don't know if it's 8 or I don't know if it's 10. I thought it was 10, but I'm going to check.
10 after 4.
10 after 4. Okay.
8 after 5, yeah.
All right.
Ground ball right
there should be
to the second baseman, and the inning is over. You hate to see anybody get run ruled in a game of this magnitude. 9-0. California leads.
And this is a great Tampa team. So
right.
This is a little bit of a surprise.
9-0. California leads. Going to the bottom half of the 4th inning on TravelballSelect.com. It's the bottom of the 4th inning here at Metro Atlanta for the 2014 Travelball National Championship. Powered by Nations Baseball and TravelballSelect.com. This is the most competitive youth baseball in America.
Russo
a liner
puts a
into
nice
right by
shot
Russo
there,
for a base hit.
Russo really swings the bat well. I'm impressed by him. So, Chris, the winner moves on. They play for all the marbles against a great Dallas team. much like the College World Series was set up way back when, it's a winner-take-all. It's no longer a double elimination thing. It's like a one-time shot, and that's for TV purposes. And so we're down to one game after this. Winner takes the rings, losers go home.
Normally, I would not be a fan of that. Normally, I would want a best 2 out of 3 for the title. However, in this case, a little bit different with a large amount of teams.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to win so many games to come through the losers bracket, more than you do at the, say, the College World Series, for instance, or a regional in the college baseball ranks.
Well, let's put it this way. This is the 11th game for Lamorinda.
Right.
There's an excellent chance they're going to play another one. Up 9-0. That'll be 12 in 5 days.
It's Satchel Norman at the plate now, who walked back in the first. It's just his second at-bat. Where they've really been held down offensively for the majority of this ball game by Newman. Well, here's a prime example. I think actually this was you. I worked with Rick Goff yesterday. Not sure if I mentioned this to you or Rick, but I think I told you about the 1998 Kennesaw State University baseball team I used to broadcast for. Did I tell you? 61-5.
Right. And then they lost the 5th game in the championship game.
Can you believe that?
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
61-5, but still did not win the title game because they lost the single elimination championship game.
A little bit similar to Sacramento City College at the community college level.
Yeah.
At one point, it's the top group in the country for years and years, and that's Jerry Weinstein, the guy I mentioned earlier, who's the Colorado Rockies offensive coordinator. That's the new title.
Right.
Ground ball shortstop, 6'4" possible.
One.
Oh, look at that.
And
look at that.
He beat it out at first.
Halpin picked that ball up out of the air on the flip from the shortstop with his bare hand and almost made an unbelievable Golden Glove web gem play. That was incredible.
Goes as a 6'4" fielder's choice, and Norman reaches. That'll get us to Marcus Brodell.
What 11-year-old picks a ball up and catches it with his bare hand? That was just tremendous.
A young man with very good instincts. That's what type of player.
Getting back to the Sac City, one year they went 47-2 to win. They were national champs, rated #1. Pretty special group.
And how was the championship formatted? One game?
It was a 2 out of 3.
Ah, well.
It was a 2 out of 3.
There you go.
Yeah. That's what I love about this, though. You get to play double elimination. Most things that you don't. In one bad game, you're done.
Look at that liner. Light this time gets eaten up by it.
Yeah, he olayed it.
Runners at first and second with one man out.
Got to get your body in front of those.
You know, just 3 hits in this ball game. Let's make it 4. Well, give me the score. What do you think?
I like your inclination. Let's give it a hit.
Okay.
Errors, nobody wins on errors, right? Hitter's got a better average. Shortstop's got a better fielding percentage. The only guy's ticked off a little bit the pitcher, and he's pitched his rear end off. Who cares? He's fine.
That's just the 4th hit of the ball game off of Newman. Deep to left, the call and the catch, and 2 men gone now in the inning. We better get on it, too, by the way. We got some gray and dark gray clouds starting to roll over us here in East Cobb County and Metro Atlanta.
So what are those? Some storm clouds? What? You're the guy here.
What will it mean?
Yeah.
It'll mean about a 30-minute downpour if it follows suit.
Yeah.
And then, Rob, you'll wish you weren't here.
Oh, I've been here when it's come in.
Oh yeah, you've been here so much. I forget that. I keep forgetting that. You've been here a lot. So yeah.
So, and the interesting thing is that
it's so humid after that rain.
Oh, it's scalding hot.
It's brutal.
Now the interesting thing, we came in once.
Robbie Higgins, by the way, at the plate.
Yep. It had to be dropping 15 to 20 degrees within 15 to 20 minutes. The wind started picking up, and we just knew. And we didn't even get a chance to get to the car when it just came down.
Bottomed out, yeah.
Unbelievable.
I like that idea.
Not bad. You know what? They're playing back. They're giving it to you.
Yep.
Even with the 2 outs, they're giving it to you.
Need something to really get a rally going.
You've got to do something. You've got to do something. Why not? Normally I wouldn't be crazy about that. That said, that would have been very effective.
Left-hander on top of that.
Yep. With some speed.
0-2 into left
right
again.
To the left fielder.
And Newman has gotten out of the 4th inning, holding Florida scoreless.
Mr. Newman had 4 outstanding shutout innings. Now he's done. He's done. We're going to see somebody else now.
Did he ever? And now, California, 6 outs away from the championship game in the 2014 Travelball National Championship. Back alongside Rob Bruno, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for joining us for the 2014 Travelball National Championship. Powered by Nations Baseball and TravelBallSelect.com. California with a 9-0 lead on Florida as we make our way to the top half of the 5th. Now, said something as we were going to the break just a moment ago at the end of the 4th inning. Said that California was 6 outs away from the title game. Now, technically, that's correct. You said it. Technically, that's correct. But remember run rules now. The run rule is 8 after 5. So, if it stays, well, no matter what the score is, once we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Florida needs a run.
After, right.
They need 2.
With 3 more outs, California can move on.
Yeah, they need 2. They need 2 runs. And let's face it, to win this game, they need to put together some crooked numbers.
Right.
Mr. Newman has had quite the game, hasn't he? 4 shutout innings. He came up huge for these guys today.
Hit the ball hard.
Right,
now
right
3 times. He's 0 for 3 at the plate, but I'm sure he'll trade his day on the mound for his day at the plate.
No doubt about that.
For the 2nd consecutive inning, he's retiring with the F9. And here's Sam Heyman. Sam, a pop-up to the first baseman to start his day in the 3rd. And last inning, matter of fact, this is the 3rd consecutive inning he's come to the plate. Last inning, he singled. Oh, and 1. Orta on deck.
Orta's been a spark plug today.
Ground ball down 3rd and foul.
Reaching. He's hooking. He's got to really think about attacking the inside part of that ball to stay on it a little bit better. He's getting around it, hooking a little bit.
You know what that looked like to me? Looked like he had already made his mind up he was going to swing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. and I'm okay with going up thinking you're going to swing every pitch. We say yes, yes, yes. Your only decision is to stop. Hard to go from no to yes. Oh, look at that. Base hit up the middle. So we've got 1 out, and with Orta's speed, maybe looking for a drag down 3rd possibly. Get Halpin up again. Lots of options now, Chris.
D's been good today, been on base both times.
With a 9-0 lead, the other thing to look at is would you consider that a Bush League thing? You know, sometimes people say, why are you bunting with such a big lead? Or why are you stealing with such a big lead? My thought is, you know what? Stop us. If that's part of your game, stop us.
Yep. Certainly two sides to that coin, and I'll admit to you, I understand both sides.
I do.
Really well. I can see both sides.
I've been on both sides, one a lot more than the other, but the other one doesn't feel good. A little bit up.
Yep. 2-0 now.
But when you get to situations like this, you're trying to do whatever you can just to get another run. Just to get another run.
Orta in the third, single, swiped the base, and scored as part of that big third-run inning where the Knights really put the ball game, well, maybe not away, but they certainly distanced themselves. Put it away in the fourth, just last inning. Lined over to the shortstop's head and in the left center field gap. It'll actually be cut off in center field.
There's
you know what?
throw.
They've
He's
got to play
him.
at third,
He's
and he is out.
Well, that was questionable whether you wanted to send him there. You've got a couple of your better hitters coming up. You know, there's an old adage, don't make the first and third outs at third.
Right.
I don't want to make the second one either. But sometimes you want to be aggressive, and he was out by a good 5 feet.
Orta the single. Heyman gunned down at third. And now, as you mentioned, back to the top of the order, and Pete Halpin with the runner breaking. A ground ball down to second, and we'll head to the bottom half of the fifth inning in a 9-0 ball game. Now, California 3 outs away via the run rule from the national championship game. And now on to the bottom half of the fifth inning. In the last of the elimination ball games here at the 2014 Travelball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball and Travelball Select. In the bottom of the fifth, in a 9-0 ball game, the first pitch delivered to Austin Grouse, 0 for 1, and he takes ball one. Pitching change here.
We got Mr. White on the mound.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm trying to find my notes. I appreciate that. He kicks and fires, and it's in the dirt.
With a 9-0 lead, the last thing you want are a bunch of balls.
Right.
We really want to pound the zone as a defense here. There's a strike. Little get him over strike there.
Well, you know, as impartial broadcasters, We have no vested interest in who wins this ball game and who loses it. But I must say that as a competitor, as a guy who loves youth sports, popped up, foul back and out of play, my heart really goes out to the boys from Tampa, only in the competitor sense, in the respect that, remember, against the Dallas team that will play in the championship here in just a few moments, they were up 4-0. And we're just 9 outs away from advancing to the title game themselves. And now, after being one of the best teams here all week without question, looks like that 4-0 lead going to be short-lived on strike 3, and their week may be on the verge of coming to an end. Grouse return via the strikeout, and that'll get us to Aaron Deegan. Aaron's reached in his only plate appearance via the walk. In fact, only 8 men have reached in this ball game through 4 1/3 innings for Spartans Pro of Florida. Their offense has gone cold since what? Gosh. I guess the 3rd inning. Was it the 3rd inning
of the game before?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they had that 4-0 lead.
Yeah, they've not scored a run in the last, well, I guess
7+.
Yep. 8, I think.
8+.
Right. And a strike. After Deegan, it'll be Cole Robertson. White gets a sign that he likes and deals in the dirt. Meanwhile, the story quite the opposite for the Knights of Lamorinda.
Well, they've been called worse than that. Lamorinda, that's all right. No, Lamorinda.
That's not the first time I've done that today, apparently, either.
You've done a great job with that. There's a strike. Oh, you called it a ball.
I've got a mental block on their name for some reason.
Well, they're quite a storied history with, especially they do a phenomenal job. 12s, 11s, 10s, 9s. One of the top teams at that age groups really in the country. Rick Ryder, been running that program for years.
They're going to be very proud of their Lamorinda Knights at the end of play today, no matter how it turns out, whether they're able to take home the national championship here in a couple hours or not. It looks like they're going to reach that title game, and that's quite an accomplishment on its own.
Adrian Diaz, the head coach, done a great job. Well-coached group. They know how to play. They've been in a lot of big games. They really have, and so has the Spartan Pro team, obviously.
Ground ball fair down the left field line.
Yep.
Rounding second. Deegan headed to second. Ball scooped up in the corner. And the big lolly pop throw comes back into third. So a 1-out double for Aaron Deegan.
And at this point, not a big deal. You really just put the ball to play. Don't walk anybody. Make them hit. Make them earn it. And they just did.
Cole Robertson. Cole hit into a double play in his only plate appearance. By the way, Deegan now the only man to reach base, one of only 2 men to reach base twice today.
There's a strike.
Fastball outside corner, 0-1.
Yep.
White out of the stretch, kicks and fires. Ball that's skied
He's
down the right field line.
It.
It's foul.
Oh,
he
what
makes
an amazing play!
Over the bullpen mound.
Unbelievable play.
Wow.
That's a web jam. Incredible play out there.
Carson Newman, who spent most of this day starring on the mound, makes a diving, falling, tumbling grab over the bullpen mound down the right field line, and what may be the defensive play of the championship.
That's the play of the tournament championship the whole week. That's as good as you get right there.
And it brings his team to within 1 out of the title game, and Jake Krug into the batter's box.
You'll always remember that play if you're Newman.
Jake a single back in the third, and he takes ball 1. Spartans Pro scored all their runs in the second and third. 2 in the second and 2 in the third of their last ball game. And they haven't scored since.
Yeah, they're working on their 8th inning of being shut out. And this is a good hitting club.
Yes, and a team that was as dominant as anyone.
No question.
So much talent. It can go that way. It can turn just that quick in the Travelball National Championship. 2-1 count with White on the mound. He'll look into Diaz, get a sign that he likes, kicks and fires. A ground ball, cue shot down to second. This is Pete Halpin, and the ball game is over. The Knights of Lamorinda have taken out Spartans Pro of Florida and have advanced through the losers bracket, traversed the minefield that is the losers bracket in the 2014 Travelball National Championship. And now it'll be the Knights of Lamorinda in Northern California taking on the Tigers of Dallas, Texas for the 2014 Travelball National Championship. First pitch of that ball game can be seen, of course, right here on TravelballSelect.com coming up in, I'd say 15, 20 minutes or so, depending on the rain. For Rob Bruno, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for joining us here on Travelball Select, a 9-0 final for the Knights of Lamorinda on to the National Championship game. Thanks for joining us on TravelballSelect.com.